I'm Greg Mengarelli, Mayor of the City of Prescott. I'm your host today for Prescott Today. Today we will be featuring two signature events in our city, Prescott Frontier Days World's Oldest Rodeo and the Bluegrass Festival. We have some great guests on our show today, J.C. Trujillo, who's the General Manager of Prescott Frontier Days, and Chris Graff, who's the President of Prescott Frontier Days Committee. We also have Sheri Heiney with the Prescott Chamber of Commerce, and we'll talk Bluegrass Festival with Sheri. So stay tuned, we have a great show, we'll be right back. It's my pleasure to welcome J.C. Trujillo, who is the General Manager of Prescott Frontier Days. J.C., how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing really well.
All right.
Hey, look, I was looking around your office here. We're in J.C.'s office, and I'd like J.C. just to give us a couple highlights of some of the memorabilia that you have in here before we get to talking about the rodeo.
Sure, you bet. You know, I had a great rodeo career, and I had a lot of fun, of course, and got to meet a lot of different people. One year, they invited the top 6 cowboys in the world to go to the White House, and they put a rodeo on for Ronald Reagan. And so I was fortunate enough to get invited to that, and actually I won the bareback riding that time. And of course, I got a picture over here of during that ceremony with Ronald Reagan. You know, it was quite an honor to be at the White House. But you know, I guess all this is great, all the rodeos I went to, but my highlight of my rodeo career was this saddle here to winning the World's Championship.
Yeah.
And that was a dream of mine that I started as a young boy, and it became a reality to me, and that's what I'm probably most proud of.
1981.
It's been a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Well, there's a lot to see here in JC's office, and it's been a lot of fun kind of getting caught up with JC and kind of getting to know some of the history behind him and also the world's oldest rodeo. So this year, we got a great rodeo on tap. Tell me a little bit about the preparations for that and kind of what's going on.
Well, you know, we try to hire our specialty acts and whatever about 3 or 4, even maybe 5 years out. So that way we get the best ones. This year, Bobby Kerr, he's a horse trainer that's had we got a program with Mustangs, and he's going to be showing these Mustangs here in his act as our specialty act this year. And of course, we have the Vold Rodeo Company back again. And we added, I say we, the board of directors, added more money to our prize money this year. We're adding $15,000 in events, which $125,000 in prize money that we add as a committee, and of course then the entry fees are added to that. And, you know, we'll be probably paying out around $260,000 this year at the Prescott Frontier Days.
Well, I should enter. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it sure is. And then we'll have every top cowboy in the world here.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that kind of purse attracts the top cowboys to our rodeo, which is a big attraction.
And that's exactly right. You know, professional rodeos moved a long ways. And the thing about Prescott over the 4th of July is most all those bigger rodeos are in the northwest part of the United States. And to attract those good cowboys from down there to come down to the southwest where it's a little warmer during July, we have to keep that prize money up, and we're really glad we can do that.
Well, it's great entertainment. I've had my family there every rodeo for the last 24 years, and just a really special time to not only take in the events the cowboys are in, but the special entertainment, the way you open that thing up with the big grand entry. It's a great show.
It's great, isn't it?
It's a great show. And tell us again the dates of the rodeo and the times.
Well, we're going to start on June 28th this year, and all the evening performances are at 7:30. The only day performances will be on June 30th, that's Saturday, where we have, of course, the parade in the morning, 1:30 performance, and then a performance at 7:30. And then we go back to 7:30 performances, and we end on July the 4th, which is afternoon performance at 1:30.
Okay.
So we have 8 performances.
Yes, yes. Now, tickets are going fast. Usually you sell out several performances. Tell us how that's going and how we can get tickets.
Do you know, it's really been exciting for us. This year, we have just outdone what we did last year. We're selling tickets online. We started December 15th. We are way ahead of last year's pre-sales, you know. So much easier to get online, buy your ticket, and you can even get it on your cell phone, and we got those scanners here now. So the world's oldest rodeo is getting pretty modern, you know.
Yeah, no, online, there's an app as well that you can get tickets. You can also just come right down here to the rodeo grounds and talk to somebody in person if you'd rather do that.
Right here at our office. We're right here on the Rodeo Drive, and of course, June the 1st, we're going to be opening up our ticket office down below, and we'll be open all day after that, and they can just come by down at the ticket office too, here at the rodeo grounds.
So a lot of folks come to town for the rodeo and the parade that you mentioned. About how many people will you see through those performances this year?
Well, you know, we had such a great year last year. We had about 32,000 people came through. That's ticket people. That's not counting volunteers. We have 600 volunteers around here. We had, of course, all the cowboys and everybody that comes with them. And so it's a big impact, I'll tell you. You know, being raised here in Prescott, I was born and raised here in Prescott, and I thought that Prescott was the only place in the world that celebrated like the 4th of July like we do, you know. And after I grew up a little bit and started going to some other rodeos over the 4th of July other than Prescott, I realized that it's all over the United States, you know, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah, that's good. So we talked about a great family experience. You've done some improvements in the grandstands. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Well, last year we were fortunate enough, of course, the city council gave us some money to they renovated all the electrical in the grandstand. They gutted every wire that was in there and redid all the lights. We repainted it. They've insulated the roof, new air conditioning units. I'll tell you what, it's really looking good. And you know, I was, of course, being born and raised here in Prescott, I used to sell popcorn and peanuts at the horse races here. And so it hadn't changed much since then till last year, until now. And now it looks great, I'll tell you what. And the lighting, everything is really first class. And of course, we got new arena lights. And we used to have a dark spot down at the end of that arena on the east end down there. And by golly, that's gone, and it's all looking mighty good.
Yeah, I think between the lights, the newer sound system, and then what I like too, JC, is that replay board that you have over here. It kind of helps you keep track of the Cowboys, and then you get to see it. Sometimes if you miss something, you get to see it again.
That's exactly right, and it's pretty easy to miss something, you know, in the crowd like at a rodeo. And it is good to have that instant replay, so if you do miss it or whatever, you can, and usually, they will rerun the fast time or the high ride again at the end of the event too. So, yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty high tech.
Pretty high tech for the world's oldest rodeo.
Yes,
so let's talk a little bit about the parade. What is the theme of the parade? Who's the grand marshal? What can we expect there?
Well, we this year have the honor of having Randy Corley, our rodeo announcer, who has been here over 30 years as a rodeo announcer. Kind of started his early career was rodeo announcing Prescott. But since then, he's announced the national finals, 15 times. He's won Announcer of the Year. And this last summer, he was inducted into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. And he's among some few elite cowboys that are in that Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. And so we thought it was mighty fitting for us to honor him this year. As, of course, he's back announcing, and he's our grand marshal, and we're looking forward to having him here, and it'll be quite a show.
Yep, that's great. And the theme is Stay Cowboy, is that right?
Well, the Stay Cowboy is kind of the rodeo theme.
Okay.
And the parade theme was honoring everyday heroes.
Got it.
And Stay Cowboy was a saying that started years ago, Prescott, Arizona. And I can remember my godmother standing next to her at the Prescott Frontier Days when I was a little kid. and she'd be yelling, "Stay, cowboy, stay." And that meant for him to stay aboard that horse, you know, or that bull, and to ride him, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, ride him, it was stay,
Stay.
cowboy, stay. And where a lot of people thought, well, is it stay cowboy? That means stay a cowboy and don't be a hippie or whatever. I don't know, maybe, but no, that's the whole meaning of it, was stay cowboy, stay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, one more thing I wanted to talk about. This year on June 30th, during the rodeo performances, is a special anniversary honoring those 19 men who lost their lives on June 30th.
Right.
And, you know, I remember, JC, when that happened 5 years ago and how you honored those Granite Mountain hotshots here in the arena with that riderless horse, and they had the helmet there and some of their gear on that horse. Anything special this year on that to commemorate that?
Well, we're going to do we'd been asked just to do it that one day, you know, and that's what we were going to do. And, to bring back the memories of that, is quite... it's quite emotional for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
And we can't do enough to honor those people and to help the families heal and make that all work.
Well, I appreciate what you guys always do, honoring public servants every year. Where we've had the fire truck out here in the arena and all that, and so I appreciate you guys honoring those folks and our military. You're always willing to do that.
And you know, as we're supposed to, not one reason, of course, is rodeo is as a true American sport as you can get, you know. It was started here in the United States, you know, and by golly, it's part of America. Rodeo is for sure.
Right. Yeah, well, we look forward to this year's performances. There'll be people from all over the world attending, I know that, and 30-some thousand folks that'll take it in. And so I really appreciate the work you do here with the world's oldest rodeo and Prescott Frontier Days and keeping that tradition alive 131 years. Thank you so much for your efforts here. We really appreciate it.
Well, you know what? It means a lot to me, too. It's a big part of my life.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Chris Graff, who's the president of the Rodeo Committee, and talk a little bit more about the world's oldest rodeo. You're watching Prescott Today, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Prescott Today. I'm Mayor Greg Mengarelli, and we're at the Prescott Rodeo Grounds here with Chris Graff, who's the president of the Frontier Days. And we're going to talk a little bit more rodeo. So, Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Well, yeah, thanks for being with us. So, we want to talk a little bit more about the committee that you're the president of, Chris, with Prescott Frontier Days. Tell us a little bit about your role and then that committee and kind of what that committee does for the rodeo.
Well, of course, my role is president this year. My third year on the board, kind of oversee and work with JC a lot. Then we have other board members that there's several areas to take care of. There's ushers, the seats in the grandstands. There's security that we have to worry about. Beverage and bartenders. We have 5 different bars around the rodeo grounds. Goodness, we have the parade going on downtown on Saturday. We have a guy. Greg Jordan is in charge of the arena, runs everything back behind the buck and shoots and takes care of all that. We have Happy Hearts. Beginning of the very first rodeo, we have a Happy Hearts rodeo, which is some disabled kids get an opportunity to get down in that arena and have a really great time.
Yeah, that's
great. So
great.
just stuff going on all over the place, and everybody kind of takes a little piece of that pie and kind of ramrods that. And then we have so many volunteers that jump in. We have membership with the Prescott Frontier Days members. Then we have volunteers that make this thing happen.
Yeah, you have a lot of volunteers, hundreds of volunteers that help you out here. Is that right?
Yeah, hundreds. We got probably 600 to 800 people make this rodeo go on, and that's all year round. 'Cause we have a trail ride, September, and things like that. So there's things going on all year round. So some of the board members are maybe not have rodeo stuff going on, but they'll have a trail ride going on, or they'll have something else going on. A cowboy breakfast we just had a little bit ago. There's a lot of different stuff going on all year. But
yeah, you know, I don't think people realize that, Chris. The committee for Prescott Frontier Days, while the world's oldest rodeo is your kind of big marquee event, there is stuff going on all the time around this. Tell us a little bit about Tough Enough to Wear Pink as just another thing kind of hanging around the rodeo there that's going on.
You know, that's a great question, because Tough Enough to Wear Pink is coming up June 2nd.
Okay.
And that's the annual dinner that they have. It's kind of their big fundraiser that they have. And it's been a big success the last couple of years. They also have the Tough Enough to Wear Pink booth, which is about mid grandstand, a little bit towards the west end. And they sell a lot of different merchandise, and they had some really great, I've seen it, new merchandise came. And it's going to be a really great, you need to stop by and see that. But all the money that's raised will stay in Yavapai County to help the citizens of Yavapai County. There's not a bit of that leaves, and it's worked through our foundation, so it's a 401(c), and it's just a great way to give back to the folks in Yavapai County.
Yeah, it's a great charity for breast cancer research and awareness, of course. So let's talk a little bit more about the actual rodeo. We talked to JC about what a great experience it is, great entertainment, top cowboys, got a great entertainer with these wild Mustangs coming in. But let's talk a little bit about the guest experience regarding parking and security. What can people expect this year?
Well, security this year, it's going to be our first year. And, first things or change is always tough. But we have to go to a clear bag policy, which is what any venue of this kind is going to now. PRCA came out with it. They follow it at the Nationals. So we thought it was time to be proactive and start that policy. So it may be a little inconvenience getting used to. We're going to have bags all over the place. We'll have bags down there as they check in, but only clear bags are allowed to be brought in. And that's for security, and it's just, hope everybody understands we're doing this for everybody's safety.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, just making sure everyone's safe. And then with parking, I'm understanding that there's a shuttle that you guys are working out from the Frontier Village parking lot.
Yep, the Yavapai Prescott Tribe and Bucky's Casino have come to us and asked if we'd let them basically shuttle folks to our rodeo. Because that was a no-brainer. I mean, absolutely, that's great. Parking is the one thing that's a little bit difficult. We do have a little off-site parking here that fills up pretty quick, but with the shuttle service coming from Frontier Village, that's just going to help. And of course, we'd also ask that you stop in Bucky's Casino and support them for helping us.
Sure, absolutely. So with the rodeo, what's the one thing that you look forward to the most when it comes to the world's oldest rodeo?
I don't know if I can put that to one thing. I mean, this thing is just a class act, just a class event, and it's so important for Prescott to have this. I mean, it's the 131st year we've had it. I mean, so I don't know if I can put that on one thing, but it's seeing the crowds and seeing everybody enjoy this rodeo.
Yeah.
That's probably the one thing that really would be my highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. So we understand there's 30-some thousand folks that'll come watch the rodeo this year, and a lot of those sell out. I know that tickets are going fast. We know that there's an online way to get tickets at worldsoldestrodeo.com. Is that right?
Yep.
And then there's also an app.
You have a Prescott Frontier Days World's Oldest Rodeo app. You can call the office. They're here every day. And then June 1st, the ticket office back behind the Buck and Shoots, the brown ticket office back there will open up, and I believe that's 10 to 5. Something like that.
Okay.
And they'll be open every day selling tickets. But yeah, we had a great increase in ticket sales last year, and we have since December 15th saw an increase over that number. So just got to tell them get your tickets soon, especially if you have a big group or something, because we are selling out pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the city and the city council for all your work on the rodeo committee, making sure this thing happens. It's so important to the fabric of our community to have this rodeo. 131 years. It's an amazing tradition. It's great for our economy, but more than anything, it's great for our community and our families to be able to take in this kind of event. And so I appreciate all the hard work that you and your committee put in to this year's event. Stay Cowboy, the world's oldest rodeo. Well, you've been watching Prescott Today. We're going to take a little break and come back and talk to Sheri Heiney with the Prescott Chamber of Commerce about our Bluegrass Festival coming up. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Prescott Today. We've been talking rodeo. Now we're going to shift gears and talk to Sheri Heiney with the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to talk some events that you're putting on this summer, Sheri. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Mayor.
Well, it's great to be with you here. We're still in the rodeo office, but we wanted to kind of talk about more signature events that we have in our city. You do a lot of events throughout the year that the Chamber sponsors, so give us a little flavor of those events.
Absolutely. Well, certainly there's a lot going on, but what's coming up on Saturday and Sunday is our Territorial Days, and that's a huge celebration. It's an arts and crafts show right downtown on the Yavapai County Plaza, Courthouse Plaza, I should say. And so that's Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 4. And that's a great event. That brings a lot of folks downtown to enjoy beautiful Prescott.
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much for sponsoring that. I'm sure you'll be having a lot of folks down there.
Absolutely.
So then tell us about the Bluegrass Festival that's coming up here this summer.
Well, we're celebrating our 37th annual Bluegrass Festival, and we're very excited for this particular Bluegrass Festival because we have a lot going on with it. And part of that is our headliner band, which is Ryan Shoup and the Rubber Bands, and they're a great group. We've had them here before, very popular. But what's going to be the showstopper is Tom Paxton and the Don Juans. Tom Paxton, he is a Grammy Award-winning Lifetime Achievement musician, and so we're very excited to bring him into Prescott, and he'll be here on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give us the dates, and then what does this cost, and how does it all work for?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's Saturday and Sunday on June 23rd and 24th. We kick it off at 9:45 on Saturday. Of course, you'll be there to help welcome all our crowds. We're anticipating large crowds this year, close to 12,000, and they can sit out on the lawn. It's a free concert.
Wow.
This whole time, the whole weekend is free.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and we'll have vendors there, arts and crafts and food vendors, but we are also encouraging everyone to enjoy all of our restaurants, which they will do.
Oh, that's great.
We get great reports on that. People will go get food, have picnic, listen to bluegrass all day.
So is there camping off-site near Mile High Middle School for this event?
Absolutely. There's camping, at Mile High Middle School is where that's at, and it's very inexpensive to camp there, so people enjoy that as well.
So what I understand is you have a main venue and there's bands playing there, but there's something kind of cool that happens on the north side of the plaza, as well as maybe at night in the camping areas or elsewhere.
All over the streets. What happens is people bring their instruments and they're playing and picking the whole time. It's awesome to see. So it kind of inspires other musicians to play a little bluegrass all around the plaza.
So jam sessions are kind of happening all over the place. So bring your chair. You might be at the main venue for a while, but you might find some cool jam sessions elsewhere around the plaza.
Yeah, what's really super cool is you'll see people even on the streets in front of businesses playing too. So we really enjoy it.
Oh, what a great event. Great family event. It's free. Now tell us a little bit about the sponsors to be able to enjoy a free event.
Well, absolutely. As you can imagine, bringing in all these band folks, the artists, it takes a lot. And our presenting sponsor is Lamb Chevrolet. They're there to support it. They've been there for quite a few years. But we also actually receive grants from the Arizona Commission on the Arts and also the Tourism Office as well to bring these artists in and to have them play for everyone.
Well, that's great. I think it's an awesome event to have such great talent on the Courthouse Plaza, under the trees. It's a real pleasant experience, and lots of cool things to do in and around downtown Prescott. And this is kind of the big event with the Bluegrass 38th annual Bluegrass Festival.
Yeah, and the other thing that's cool about it is you got the bluegrass, and then you roll right into the rodeo week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
following the next week, so
a lot going on this time of year in the summer. so you don't want to miss out on the Bluegrass Festival. I want to thank you so much for the Chamber and all the events that you put on, Territorial Days, the Bluegrass Festival. I know there's other events you do with the Christmas parade and the courthouse lighting.
Yes.
So thank you so much for the great job that you and your
you.
team do at the Chamber of Commerce, putting on all these great events for our residents as well as for visitors that come to our great city. Well, that's all the time that we have today. Thanks again to our guests, J.C. Trujillo, Chris Graff, and of course Sheri Heiney at the Prescott Chamber. Join us next time on Prescott Today. We'd love to have you, and if you want to watch this, you can watch it on Channel 64 or PrescottMediaCenter.org. I'm Mayor Greg Mengarelli, and you've been watching Prescott Today. Thank you.